Hello and welcome to this presentation about graphing in spreadsheets. Now this one's one giant field trip. So I'm over here and I'm in Google Sheets. Now this would work very similarly in the major products. By the major products I'm thinking about Apple numbers, I'm thinking about Excel. I'm using this because this is what's used in my school, so my students are most likely to be using this. So the first thing that I'm going to show you how to make is a bar chart. So I'm going to highlight the data that I want made into a chart. I'll go into Insert and Chart. Now it actually doesn't ask you what chart you want, it just makes an assumption about what you want. Now it's assuming I want a pie chart and I don't at the moment. So I'm going to go through here and it's got column. I'm actually going to choose that one there. So I'm going to close that up. Population, I'm going to go in and edit that. So what do I actually... So state and territory, population in Australia at that. Okay, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. There we go. State or territory down the bottom there. I can actually click on this. If you notice, if I click on the bar and then I just click on one bar, I can actually make the colour different for different things. But what's really important is that I have got a meaningful labels there, meaningful labels there, and I'm just going to shrink that down so that we can see it. Actually, I'm looking at it 200%. Let's have a look at it at 150. So there we go. That is a pretty good bar chart that we can read very quickly and that'll tell us what that's about. So I'm going to grab that, I'm going to drag it off to the side. So I'm going to highlight that again, and now I'm going to show you a pie chart. Now, I suspect all of this is a bit dynamic. I'm not actually sure exactly how it makes the decisions here. So, chart, and see this time it just remembers that we like that. So, there we go, this time. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to copy my heading, and I'm going to use it here as well, because that's a bit generic. Alright, so what happens, there we go. Now, I also think that I can grab a slice and I can actually move it out from the center. So I can actually say, okay, I want that slice there to be out by 5%. So you can actually pick a slice if you want to highlight it there. So if you wanted to say, well, that's New South Wales and I want that to stand out. You can also make other things about having a hole in the middle, which, you know, is a different sort of chart, border color. I don't actually love the hole in the middle. I'm going to take that out. And you can make all sorts of variations and so forth of that, but that is your basic pie chart. Okay, next one we're going to do is a line chart. Now I've got two variables here. I actually haven't done this one before I did the video, and I probably should have. So let's insert a chart. Oh, good. Alright, well that's encouraging. So this is actually Geelong. So Geelong. I think most of the things you'd want to change is probably in the heading. So there we go. I think that could actually do with a title. So the one up and down, that is vertical axis title, that should be Celsius. There we go. So that didn't come with it. There's the dates. Yep. We can see that it's discontinuous. Everything else I'm actually pretty happy with. So there you go. We had a couple of hot days where there were very high hots, and the minimums, interestingly, the minimum actually went up on that day when the maximum went down. So that's interesting what we can learn from that. But that's a line chart. Very easy to make. Scatterplot. So this isn't real data, by the way. This is AI generated data. So what we're trying to do here is a scatter plot between your age and your likely average salary. So again, insert, chart. Now I think it says a line chart. Now it's not really a line chart because it's not your personal salary. Like, it's not one variable moving over time. It's actually separate samples, which of course it's not going to know, but I do. So there's my scatter plot. Now scatter plots actually work well when you've got hundreds of bits of data. That's probably the ideal use of them. But we can see the trend there in the scatter plot, and it is more mathematically true, or the information is more true, because it's not one person's variable over time. If we were to be graphing my salary from the ages of 17 to 55, then we could have a line. But if we're just talking about people in general, then we're probably better off using that as a scatter plot. So that's how you do those. I think it's pretty easy, and you probably didn't need this presentation, but if you've learned something, well and good.